Sort of serendipitous timing here. We've had a series of ongoing conversations for the last couple of months with folks from Comprehensive Healthcare and formerly Comprehensive Mental Health. And we've got another gentleman in studio today to talk about some things. We'll have to try to corner him a little bit on this shooting conversation that we've had. But we're celebrating 50 years in this community, providing mental health services and now expanding healthcare in general. We've got Victor Larios with us. And Victor, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Thank you for being here this morning.
Absolutely. Can you hear me all right? Is this?
Yep, loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear.
Sir.
All right. Well, let's talk your stuff first. You are, how do I say this? I had reason to review my college transcripts the other day, and I have a BA in psychology, and I looked back over some of the courses that I took and tried to remember some of the classwork and some of that, and some of the more interesting things are those more extreme cases where people are hearing voices and there's a lot going on inside the human mind. Schizophrenia, those kinds of things, and I think that's kind of what you want to sort of address this morning for starters.
Yes. So I am the team lead for the New Journeys team at Comprehensive, and the New Journeys team works with people who are experiencing symptoms of psychosis related to schizophrenia. So psychosis, when we speak about psychosis, that's a series of symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Schizophrenia is when those symptoms happen naturally. There are other things that can cause symptoms of psychosis. We're looking at schizophrenia.
So a shock or trauma of some kind could trigger some psychotic breaks or whatever.
Yes.
But schizophrenia, it would be sort of a bodily breakdown or
Biological.
something like that? Biological, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's usually a family history that would show up for those symptoms to become present.
A genetic pass along, right?
Exactly. So when we're talking about psychosis, we're talking about three main symptoms. Okay, we're talking about hallucinations, delusions, and cognitive difficulties.
Well, we've got the last two in spades around here, let me tell you. Several delusions, and I don't mean to joke, but I do mean to joke because I approach all touchy subjects with a sense of humor. Walk us through what those, how they manifest and what their frequency might be in our community.
Okay, so when we're talking about those three symptoms, we'll start with hallucinations. So hallucinations, most people will say, well, it's hearing things or seeing things. And yes, that is correct. Our five senses, hearing, seeing,
touch, sight,
tasting,
sound, smell,
all those.
yeah.
So hallucinations are any of those, your senses telling you these things are happening when they're really not. I'm hearing things that are not here.
I'm
Nobody else
smelling
can
smoke,
hear things.
but there's no fire
Exactly.
or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
No, that's less common. More common is, yes, it is
An audio
hearing
intrusion.
things and then seeing things. Less common, my food tastes different. Something is wrong with this food, even though everybody ate from the same pizza, says, no, it's pizza, it's good, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Somebody might say, no, it tastes like chemicals, or it tastes like metal, something's wrong with this.
Interesting, okay.
Or they might smell skunk in the room or fire in the room when everybody else in the room says, no, not at all, nothing. Or feeling things on your skin when they're really not there. Okay. Less common those last three, but they can occur.
Okay. So that's the hallucinatory part. How are we doing study-wise? Do we know what's going on in the brain that manifests those, or are we still trying to figure that out?
There's still research going on, but we know that there are some things that can be done to help with those.
Okay.
Yes.
So next was which?
Delusions.
Delusions.
So where hallucinations, where your senses playing tricks on you, delusions is your mind playing tricks on you. Your mind is telling you that things are happening when they're really not. Now, there are several different types of delusions. I'll go over the more common ones. Delusions of reference. Someone's following me. Someone's following my family. Someone's trying to hurt me or my family. Delusions of reference. What else? Persecutory delusions. The government is watching me.
Right.
The government
And
is
they
spying on
are,
my phones,
Victor,
right?
they
Yeah.
are, right? Okay.
Yeah. People are going out of their way to make life more difficult for me.
Why are they picking on me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is the teacher making assignments that are focusing on me? Why is everybody looking at me?
Yeah.
Those kind of. Why is the TV talking about me? Why is the radio talking
Right.
to me? Okay, so these things don't make sense. Those are delusions.
Sure.
Okay. Grandiose delusions. I have connections with famous people. I have connections with rich people. I am a wealthy person, or I am a rich person. I have direct connections with God, demons, the devil, whatever it may be. Thoughts that are not based in reality.
People say they know Lance. That to me is a dead giveaway too. But it's a whole nother
Older
thing.
people, younger people, more prevalent to all these problems?
So
And
Again,
has it changed over the years?
there is something about that, and I will get to that. And especially in our state, it'll make a little more sense in a second.
Okay.
But for New Journeys, we're focusing with people where it's the first time that it's happening to them. So typically that's 15 to 25, mid to late teens, early 20s, but we do go outside of that if it's the first time that it's happening to them.
How upsetting to have that, you're cruising a normal life and all of a sudden for
Absolutely.
the first time you're now exposed to that. What was the third? You said there was three. There was
Hallucinations, delusions, and cognitive difficulties.
There you go.
So it's not being able to process information as well as somebody used to. So I used to be able to work in construction. I could read a tape measure. I could frame a door. Not a problem. Now all of a sudden, I can't wash my dishes. I kind of forgot how to do that. Hold on, it takes me a minute. What kind of saw is this? What do I do? Those basic things that used to be simple, now all of a sudden it's a lot more difficult to process information.
Fascinating. Okay, so that's a career right there, right? Working on that. You could spend forever. What's the Washington connection? Where are you going with that?
So, with treatment, there are three main things that we say will help somebody improve and prevent this from happening again. And that is continuing to take medications as prescribed, abstaining from substance use, and managing stress. So the connection that I'm making to Washington is with the marijuana use. Okay, people who have a genetic history of psychosis in their family, the marijuana use can cause that to come out.
Trigger that.
It will trigger that,
yeah.
and that's where the connection. Now that marijuana is legal, and I have nothing against that, whatever
Right.
somebody wants
But-
to do, it's their
but
decision.
But it is what it is, and
It
that
is what
is
it is. If you're genetically predisposed, it can flip that switch where now those symptoms are present.
And we're seeing more of that, are we not?
That's why we're seeing a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Therapy, let me talk you through this. Not a whole lot of help in some of those kind of situations, is it?
That's why I'm here. I'm out here trying to find individuals or people who have loved ones who are noticing this with the people they care for. Hey, my son is or my daughter is not themselves. Something is going on. There's been a significant change. It's a different person. What's going on?
Right.
Okay, so they recognize their
Family will notice the difference.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and they're tuned in right now. And so, what do they do?
So they can call Comprehensive, and we're available all in Yakima County. So it's not just up here in Yakima. And they can call 575-4084 at Comprehensive and ask for the New Journeys team or ask for me, Victor. Or they can also call, if they're in the Tri-Cities area, they can call 509-412-1051.
Okay, but so basically, Victor at Comprehensive.
At Comprehensive, I'm in charge of the New Journeys team there.
How
at
big of a team
Comprehensive.
is? How many
Yeah.
So
assets
this
do
is
we
the
have?
interesting part about the New Journeys team. Okay, we started 5-6 years ago. We were the pilot program. Washington said, "Hey, let's give this a shot. Who wants to do it?" Comprehensive raised their hand, and before King County or any of the bigger cities said, "Yeah, we'll take it," Comprehensive said, "We'll do it," and the state said, "All right, you're up to it. Go for it."
That's because King County had delusions of grandeur and didn't think they needed it. And we are a little
Might be
more
the case.
grounded in reality here.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
so we are not
That's
afraid
right.
to call out a problem and try to jump on and deal with it.
Spade's a spade.
That's kind of Dave's take. But all right, so
what we offer.
It's a really good opportunity then for us to have had this
Yeah.
put in place and making it go.
Yeah, so before it was, so you've experienced your first episode of psychosis, you've been hospitalized, you've been in an inpatient unit, here are some medications, visit your doctor whenever you're scheduled, once a month or whatever, good luck. Now, with New Journeys, there's more wraparound services. It's, what were your goals before this happened? We want to help you reach that goal.
Get back on
It's-
track.
yes,
not
we want-
just fix where you're at. It's to return you to
Exactly.
where you want to go. Okay.
So it's more wraparound services. It's, yes, we have the individual therapy on what happened, how do you deal with that, what were your goals, how do we get you back on track for that. That's individual resiliency training. That's IRT. That's individual therapy. We also offer family education, helping family understand, look, this is what happened. These are the symptoms to keep an eye out. These are the medications your loved one is taking. This is what every medication is for. This is why it's important.
So they can help reinforce the path.
Absolutely.
Right?
If you're noticing some of these symptoms come back, this is who you call. Okay? And we also offer supported education and employment. Your goal was to go to school. Your goal was to get a job, or maybe you already working. Let's talk to your employer. Let's talk to potential employers. Let's talk to your school to get you back on track to where you were. We have a peer support, somebody who has lived experience with the mental health system, another person for you that's available to the person that we're working with to talk to, and then case management, whatever that may look like, whatever the person's needs may be.
Right.
Okay, and
Wow.
our own prescriber and nurse as well.
So, as team leader for all of this, that's got to be really exciting and rewarding to kind of spearhead this expanded approach to not just treat and release, but to kind of walk the walk and
Absolutely,
see that
and we're there for, it's a 2-year program, up to 2 years. If the person is feeling better, they're
Yeah.
at a place where they're comfortable and they feel like, I'm okay, I'm set to fly here, then good, great.
Well, that's exciting. I'm delighted to hear
good
that.
stuff. 8:55. We're talking to Victor from Comprehensive Healthcare. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, Victor, we do have to at least raise the specter of mental health in the national conversation for gun violence, because we're hearing it a lot, and you know, we're pitting the mental health systems against the Second Amendment. It seems like, or about to, and so I guess the question that I would have for you is, when we see these, incidents of mental health, where people have threatened to kill themselves or their family members, and then that doesn't get on the radar, and later they do something like this most recent shooting in Illinois. How serious should we take those red flags, as we're calling them, as a indicator or precursor to something that horrific could follow?
Well, absolutely. I think they should be taken very seriously. It's better safe than sorry. For our area, there is the crisis line. So in our state, there are 2 people who can detain someone. That is police officers and DCRs, a designated crisis responder. If somebody is making threats to harm themselves, is making threats to harm others, or they're gravely disabled, they're not able to take care of their daily tasks,
Right.
their hygiene, all those things that would go by day, a loved one or anyone can call the crisis line at 509-575-4200, and they can request that their loved one or the person that they're worried about be seen by a DCR, and that person can decide, yes, they're grave enough to where they need to go to an inpatient unit, or maybe not as intensive, maybe a little less, where they can be observed and talk to a
Do
provider.
the DCR folks work for you? Or are you? But
They are
designated?
within comprehensive, yes.
Okay. Are there other agencies that have them, or other
It
places?
depends what county you're in. For our county, it is comprehensive.
Okay. So I know that your outlook is to the positive, to get people back on track, to get
Yes.
people. Mine is to freak out for the future, and so we want to make sure that the folks are in a system so that when they do show up to buy the gun, that we can at least revisit their progress and know that they at one point were contacted by somebody about those kinds of issues. And if I had to pay for everything I've ever said over my lifetime, you'd never see me out of jail again, I suppose. But I think that there's a concern now by society that we have seen so often. People have given clues that something's coming, and we ignore them, or we are concerned more about their rights than the protective rights of society, that sort of thing. If you were made czar for the day, Victor, what would your sort of overall mental health approach be to these kinds of things? What do you think we should do?
I think it would be, definitely having more an outlook approach on DCRs, giving them more access. If people were more aware of the information of who to call,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is who you call.
People don't want to bring the cops in, and
Yeah,
so
right.
they can still get an evaluation through a DCR on the scene, and it may not mean law enforcement or anything like that, as far as that adding to the stress of the family, or what is
And
this gonna
sometimes
mean?
it is what's necessary,
True.
and if that's what it takes, then I'm sorry, but that's what it takes.
Yep.
I've been in those situations where the person's not willing to go with the DCR, and we have to get police involved. That law has recently changed. It's gone back and forth, where before police, not too long ago, less than a year ago, police would say, we're not able to
Yeah.
assist DCRs, you're up to yourself, good luck with all that. Now they're able to assist the DCRs in taking someone into custody and into an inpatient unit if that's what's
Sort of
necessary.
involuntary confinement for a
Yes.
period of observation.
Good stuff. Victor at Comprehensive Healthcare in Yakima. You can reach him. by just finding the comprehensive number. If
Yep.
you've got people driving or whatever, they're not going to be grab a number anyway. But
Yep.
thanks for coming in this morning. Great,
Absolutely.
great
I didn't mean to
information.
dodge your question. I hope I answered.
No,
it.
you
did.
helped a lot, Victor,
No.
and we may
Okay,
have you
stuff.
back again
Yeah.
to talk more about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
anytime. Let me
Victor
know.
Larios, thank you very much, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.